To name an angle, you need to know what forms an angle. Remember, I'm going to go ahead and do this. What forms an angle is two rays. So here we have, to review what we did just a minute ago, we have ray BA. B is the end point. A is the point that's out towards the end. And we have ray B, and I could call it BC or I could call it ray BD. It doesn't matter. I'm going to call it ray BD. So I have those two rays. They have the same endpoint. Okay. So that's what forms an angle. We have to have two rays that have a common endpoint. That's how we form an angle. So when we name the angle, we can name that endpoint that they share. That could be the name of the angle, but that's only if we have one angle formed at angle B. And I'll show you a picture in just a second to explain that. So you can call that angle B. And this little symbol that they have in front, some people think it looks like the less than symbol. It's not really. The less than symbol, the two things are kind of the point where they meet's kind of in between. For the angle, it comes all the way down to like the bottom of the line or whatever, and then it goes straight. So this one, this part right here, when you're using the angle symbol, that one has, it's parallel to like the bottom and the top of the paper. You can use that symbol. And as a matter of fact, a lot of times when you're typing, that's the only way, unless you have some sort of math font. That's the only way to type that symbol, is to use your less than symbol. A lot of times in some of the papers or homework problems or test, you'll see the same symbol with a little arc drawn through it. Okay, so don't be confused by that extra little mark right there. Different publishers will use that symbol. I will, on my next video, I will try to find one somewhere that has that symbol right there so that you can see what they look like. Springboard, it looks like, doesn't use that little symbol right there, but it is possible. So that's the symbol for the word angle. Every time you see that symbol, you pronounce that symbol right there with the word angle. So that says angle B. That says angle 1. Now, the numbers will usually have to be added. So you can see down here, this angle right here does not have a number added. You can add it yourself. If this is a multiple choice question, however, and there's no angle 1 or there's no number written right here, then be sure you don't pick one that has the answer as, oh, the name of that angle is angle 1. Well, there's no 1 there. So you must see the number. So you can name it with a number. The number is usually added. And that's usually, we usually use that when we have more confusing pictures. And I'll show you one like right here. See, this is a case where we cannot, I can't write on this. We cannot call that angle any of those angles right there. And I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit because all we're doing is talking about naming the angle. But you cannot name either one of those angles. You cannot call. You cannot say angle, and I always put that right there. Otherwise, it looks like an L, and my handwriting's really sloppy. You cannot call this angle S. And the reason you can't call this angle S is because which one is angle S? Is it this one right here, or is it this one right here? So angle S is not allowed because there's more than one angle. This angle right here has a vertex at S, and this angle right here also has a vertex at S. So in your book, I believe it said that that you can only call this by its vertex if there's only one angle at that vertex. So there's only one angle right there at vertex B. So anyway, if you don't have a number and if you can't use the vertex, then you're left with the only other way to name it is to use 3 points. And you need 1 point off one ray, you need another point off the other ray, and then you need the vertex. So let me go see where. I think it's this one. So for this one, here they've got them named all down here. Notice on every single one of these, let me get my highlighter. What's the middle letter? The middle letter is B. 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 So that's a must when you're naming using the 3 letters, when you're naming an angle using the 3 letters. The vertex must be the middle letter. Now, here they named it A from this first ray that we talked about, from ray AB. They used the A. And since that's the only, you're going to have to use A in naming this because it's the only other point. The only thing you get to choose is whether or not you're going to use point C or point D. You have to use A because it's the only point on that ray. You have to use B because it's the vertex. So you have to use, every one of these will have A and B in there. See, there's A and B, there's A and B, there's A and B, and there's A and B. So A and B have to be used. The only other choice that you have is how you're going to end it with C or D. So they're calling this angle ABC. That's the first one that they named, ABC. And you can turn that around and you could name it CBA. There's no rule that says that which ray has to be named first or which letter from which ray has to be named first. So ABC and CBA, these two right here, well, they're all talking about, those are all talking about the same angle. They're all different ways. Do you see why geometry is so fun to grade? So so yeah, we've got this one right here is a picture very similar to this one. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways to name that angle. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do name these 2 angles right here. And then when you start the video again, I will turn the answers on so that you can see them. Okay, so here are the answers. I told you there was 4 accounted for you. Angle 3, angle Y, angle X, Y, Z, and angle Z, Y, X. Notice Y is the middle letter. That seems to be the hardest thing for people to remember, is that the middle letter must be the vertex of the angle. Okay, notice this one doesn't have a number. If you were doing something with this later on in the chapter, if you're doing a proof or something and you want to put a number in there, you could call it angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. That's fine. You just have to make it visible so that anybody looking at your paper knows that you named that angle 4. You wouldn't list it right here though, because we don't know that you added angle 4. So notice C is the middle letter. 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 And they've every time used S because it's the only other letter on this side, on this ray. So S, C, S, C, S, C, S, C. And this one was just naming C. And we could, because there's no other angle. Let me change the picture just a little bit. Did that get copied onto my other one a while ago? No, it didn't. So if I'm not going to, because it'll take too much time. If I drew another ray coming out of this right here, then I would have 2 angles at vertex C, and you wouldn't be able to call it angle C. But since this only has 1 angle at angle C, then we can call it angle C. All right. Again, here are the answers. They ask you to draw LMN. This is an example of LMN. You could have had a million different drawings up there. Is FDE a possible name? Yes, because D is the vertex. And here, and I know I'm scrolling through them fast, but I'm scrolling through them fast because this is a video and you can stop it and pause it and look at it. Again, I would expect you to try to do this yourself before you look at the answers. So if you haven't done that, then stop looking at the answers, go back and try to do that. All right, this ends activity 1-1.